Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Awkward wave to all the fans. So just following on from a video I did earlier in the week, I just thought I'd talk about some of my favourite easy vegan things you can do and eat. I should have come up with a better title than that, but yeah. Being vegan since 2017 and slowly seeing all of the changes and things that we literally see not only on our high streets and in our restaurants and coffee shops and all that stuff, but the supermarkets as well. Like back in the day, you used to have to go to like a specialist health food store or like a Holland and Barrett or anything to get like your fake meat substitutes, etc, etc. Soy milk and things has been in the supermarkets forever. Like I said, I haven't really drunk cow's milk since I was 10 because of eczema, so I've been having soy milk, and that's always been readily available, mainly in like the UHT long life section. But now you can literally walk into Sainsbury's and there's like oat, soy, rice, hemp, pea, sprouted pea, that's probably the same as pea. You can get it in like sweetened, unsweetened, vanilla, chocolate, barista, normal. So that's just one of the easy swaps you can do. I also recommend you look for the free from section in your local supermarkets. So like for example Tesco, it's kind of like a purple packaging, and then in Waitrose it's kind of like a green packaging. You do have to be very careful, like you will become a label warrior when you get turned vegan, because just because something is labelled as vegan, I mean, this has never happened to me personally, but you still just need to check all the ingredients. And again, with the free from section, it could be, for example, egg free and gluten free, but it might still have dairy, or usually it's gluten free and dairy free, but then it will still have egg. A lot of things use egg white as like a binder in like cakes and things. So do just be very careful, become a label warrior, get yourself in the know, but definitely look at all the free from sections that the local supermarkets have to offer. And then there's things like Plant Kitchen at Marks and Spencer's, which they're like ready meals, and then there's like Wicked or WK, it looks like Wicked to me, in Tesco. And then people are like going mad over things like they now have like chicken Kievs and like churros and all these crazy things like in the frozen sections of supermarkets. So definitely don't think that it's... A lot of people will say a vegan diet is more expensive if you're buying the fake meats, the fake cheese, the fancy ice creams, all those things. I'm gonna be honest, they are a little bit more expensive. Like slowly but surely they're coming down, and they're sometimes doing like deals on like vegan magnums or what. But the most basic, like if you're being whole food plant-based vegan, the most basic foods like are inherently like the cheapest. So pasta, rice, bread, beans, cans of veggies, like cans of soups and sauces and things like that, like they can be some of the cheapest food in the supermarket. I haven't bought meat probably in a very long time, because even when I did eat at home, like my parents would buy it, but meat's not cheap from what I'm seeing. So I don't know, it's again what you decide to spend your money on. It does also depend like what type of vegan / plant-based diet you are going to follow, because a lot of junk food is inherently vegan as is. Things like Oreos and certain types of crisps, and even sometimes bizarrely like the barbecue like meaty flavored crisps, a lot of the times are vegan as well. So again, and things like for example Sour Patch Kids, so you just need to always read the label. Ding, if you know you know. So, but if you're moving towards of like a whole food plant-based diet, the majority of that, I believe it's 80% of your diet and nutrition comes from whole foods. So that's like legumes, vegetables, fruits, nuts and seeds, and whatever carbohydrates in the healthiest like form of them. And then like 20%, if you want, comes from like processed foods. But that's a whole nother debate, and I could do a whole nother video on processed versus non-processed versus whole foods and things like that. Like, I think in this day and age we are very aware that processed foods are not good for us, but they are usually the most delicious and tasty, sugary but savoury sweetness things we have. So again, it's just all up to, I'm a big advocate for a balance. So like, I'll have my smoothie for breakfast, but then, you know, I'm going to be having vegan Ben and Jerry's or some kind of like tiffin or shortbread, vegan, for my dessert. Like, it's all about balance. But again, another story for another time. To things like restaurants and cafes, a lot of cafes, whether they're like small independent cafes, especially in London, but things like Costa, Starbucks, Nero, I feel really bad because they're like the only ones I go to, but I know there are more like generic coffee shops. They do have a very large selection of milk alternatives. At Starbucks, I know that soy is included. Like, if you want to change the milk, you don't have to pay extra for soy, but if you want oat or almond or I don't know the third, it's been so long, but soy's included. Again, same at Costa, but most other places will upcharge you, but that's slowly changing. The more we demand it, the less likely they are to charge us in the end, because it won't cost them so much in the grand scheme of things. I don't know, I'm not an economist, but I do have an A level in restaurants. Again, you can always start with an allergy menu, because that will usually dictate underneath the item what allergens are in it, and then you can look out for dairy, eggs, milk, fish, things like that. So if not, a lot of restaurants are getting really good at letting you see like a binder, and you can see all the ingredients. You can also get chef to table, things like that. It depends kind of where you're dining. I always recommend looking ahead. A lot of places now, especially in the last, I'd say 6 to 12 months, will have a dedicated vegan menu. Things like at Zzz's, Honest Burger, Pizza Express. They're kind of the only places I really go. Oh, Yo Sushi. A lot of pizza places will have like their vegan menu. I've even seen, I think KFC are doing vegan fast food now, but I still probably won't. Yeah, and again, going to the restaurant sort of question, it is totally up to you as a vegan or vegetarian whether you consider cross-contamination to be ethically okay with you. So for example, I do not like to consume anything from a fryer that has been shared with animal products. So I always ask if the chips are cooked in a separate fryer, or if I'm having like vegan chicken nuggets or something like that, again, like that they're in a separate fryer to the animal products. Some people say it's pedantic. It's my morals, it's my moral compass, and I just follow that. But again, it doesn't make you any less vegan or vegetarian if you're okay with that, because it's totally up to you. But you do just need to be very careful, and you do need to ask, and you do need to be aware. Cross-contamination will happen. It's a thing. I personally don't go to Franco Manca anymore because their cross-contamination is ridiculous, and I always get very sick after it. But again, I'll probably do that in like a top five places not to eat as a vegan. That's given me an idea. Bing. Something that I do get asked a lot of the time is what I think of companies that are inherently animal product based, for example, like McDonald's, Pizza Express, burger chains, things like that. How I feel about them producing vegan burgers and vegan products, and whether I'll still go and enjoy those things. Like I said, we vote with our dollar, but I do truly believe I'm coming to the school of thought sort of realization that any movement towards a more kind, compassionate, plant-based vegan lifestyle in terms of the products that are being presented to us as consumers, if more and more of them are becoming vegan, that's great. It's all about, stepping stones, small incremental changes. And like I said in my other video, if it means that instead of 10 people ordering a beef cow animal burger, it means that 3 of those people instead decide to choose the vegan option, that is still making a change, and a positive change towards a compassionate world and a compassionate lifestyle. So, and again, I know it's up to your each personal views on that matter, but for me, I personally think introducing it into like mainstream media and like mainstream food consumption, I think is wonderful, because it's just one step closer towards a vegan planet. I still think it's going to be real, guys, I don't know. Wrapping up this video, I have decided to put on my cat ears because they were next to me and I thought it would make a nice change to wrap up the video. I have just been chit-chatting away, and hopefully I have given you some insights into supermarkets, coffee shops, restaurants. I think I will do like a more detailed like top 5 favourite items at these supermarket stores, restaurants, cafes, etc. But this is more just like a chit chat and an introduction to how easy and simple it can be to vote with your dollar and vote compassionately with the multiple times a day you decide to eat food, which for me is multiple. I was going to say 3 times a day, but I just can't. Please, if you eat 3 times a day, and that, how? Because I don't, and I don't think I ever have. Ding! Okay. That is the end of the video, guys. If you enjoyed it, subscribe. I'm going to be putting up videos all the time because I'm really bored and I like chatting, and then I like editing. Bish bash bosh, bada bing bada boom. Veganism.